Why does it have to be raining? Okay, 2003 Ford Focus. Where does the key go? Okay, I've actually never driven this car before. I've got no idea what to expect out of it. Squeaking. There is squeaking. Okay, so this is a 2003 model, one of the most embarrassing times for American cars. Nothing good ever really came out in the early 2000s through about 2008 or so. It was all whatever, plastic, mediocre econo boxes and pieces of junk. This isn't awful. I mean, it's still ovals everywhere. It's like a freaking Ford Taurus, where they decided, hey, you know what, let's take an oval and put some wheels on it, and then let's continue that styling onto the inside where everything's ovals with more ovals. Oval. Because it's Ford and their logo's an oval. Everything is ovals. Ovals forever. All day. Ovals. Merging with traffic with ovals. Now you're thinking with ovals. Ovals. How do I speed up the wipers? This is car. Commuter car, very basic. At least it has power windows, but I'm not going to use those because it's raining. It's Blaupunkt audio. That's interesting. Too bad the screen is all screwed up. It's got vertical dead lines on it. Not a bad driving position, honestly. The wheels are far enough recessed into the footwell that I can comfortably sit here, and my arms aren't ridiculously stretched out. It's not bad. Wheels not bad either. Holding it at 9 and 3 is pretty comfy. And then you've got the weird bumps. I never understood what you were supposed to do with those. Supposed to grab them like this? Maybe? I don't get it. This isn't bad, honestly. Probably just be like this 90% of the time. It's a bit loud in here though. Road noise control isn't the best. Yep, motorized windows still work. Acceleration's pretty mediocre. It's just another forgettable early 2000s commuter car with slightly tighter steering than some, it seems like. Oh boy, that is slow. How does it handle? It's body roll. It is a lot of body roll. Brake's good. That man does not have his lights on. He should really have his lights on. It's raining out. Pretty sure you're required by law to have your lights on. That man does not have his lights on either. I mean, it tries to sound sporty. I'm not hugely opposed to the engine note that this makes. It's kind of fun. It sounds like it wants to get up and go, but then you put your foot down and nothing. It's nothing. No tachometer. I just noticed that. I hate that. I mean, I suppose honestly there's pretty much no reason for anyone who's not a performance driver or who has a manual to have a tachometer, but there's something reassuring to me about the fact that it's there and that I can see what the engine is doing. Because otherwise, your only real indication of the engine speed is the engine note itself, and if you've got loud road noise, loud vents, loud radio, you know, whatever that keeps you from hearing that, you have absolutely no idea what your engine is doing, which again, your average user probably has no need to or would even know what to do with that information if they had it. But for me, it's comforting to know what the car is doing. Why is there more construction? These seats aren't the worst. They're kind of hard though. This one is really upright. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. When I brake, it squeaks. Sure are a lot of Fords out today. Must like the rain. The wild Ford is indigenous to Kansas. A water-loving creature, it is often seen in rainy conditions. Transmission is whatever. I'm not entirely sure why people always critique transmissions in economy cars. I mean, whatever. It's going to shift smoothly. It's going to shift probably very lethargically, and it might hunt for gears every now and then. But if you're just trying to get from point A to point B, who really cares? Precise shifts. The suspension is a bit too hard for my liking. Why is that man riding his bike in the middle of the street? I did notice that this car has a miss, which is a bit disconcerting. This car doesn't seem to know what it wants to be. Some parts of it are economy car. The build quality, which is average and cheap. The lack of a tachometer, the lethargic automatic transmission, and the rather slow acceleration all scream economy car. So there's the four-door configuration and the rather Spartan interior layout. And that all screams economy car. But then you have the kind of sporty exhaust note, and you have the slightly too stiff suspension for my liking, for an economy cruiser. It just seems a bit harsh. And you've got the sort of, I don't want to say heavy, but rather enthusiastically centering steering, which is a bit odd. It's just, it really wants to go straight. Adjusted my seat, now I can't see behind me. There's a truck there. Hi, truck. It is roomy in here. I mean, there's a lot of headroom up there. There's quite a long ways to the top, although I don't think the seat has any height adjustment whatsoever. So, kind of stuck with what you get. Another one of the economy car decisions. The gas cap is on the right side, the passenger side of the car, and I never understood why any car maker would ever put the gas cap there. Because all it means is when you pull up to the fuel station and you get out of your car, you have to walk all the way around to the other side. And then when you want to get back in, it's all the way back around the car. Instead of just putting it on the driver's side, where you get out and you walk back 2 feet. There's probably some really complicated technical solution, or some really simple technical explanation for why that is, but I don't know it. So if you know it, please tell me, because I'm curious. Wow, this steering wheel, really big airbag. I'm just not a big fan of this interior styling at all. These just look like growths. Those look like growths. The radio is just kind of there. I don't know what the hell this is. They try to put like character lines in the interior, and it just ends up as kind of a weird mishmash of stuff. Body roll isn't. Turn-in is good. Body roll is mediocre. Control, body roll control is mediocre. Just an identity crisis. If you're gonna have a commuter car, a basic commuter car, you'd want it to be somewhat comfy, not luxurious, but comfy. Soft-ish ride, mediocre to bad handling. Soft seats, even if they are, cloth. This is not that. This is stiff seats with bolstering for whatever inane reason. Stiff suspension that tries to be sporty. And a car that's nowhere close to sporty. I mean, yes, there's, the sporty Focuses, the ZX3 and the what have you, but this isn't that. If you can change suspension tuning between trim levels for, more sporty models, why not detune the suspension to be more comfortable for the less sporty models? Like, it has the power and the builds quality of an economy car with the stiff suspension, loud exhaust, and comfort of a sports car. And the lack of a tachometer. An automatic transmission that's whatever. An interior styling that's meh. I don't get it. I don't get this car. What is it? What is it trying to be? Well, I know what it is. Mediocre in pretty much every conceivable way, much like the Pontiac Grand Prix. Except it doesn't try to look sporty either. It just looks like whatever. Why are all these cars so mediocre? That wouldn't even be that difficult. Soften the suspension, soften the seats, you'd have a killer economy car. A killer commuter to and from work in comfort, because if it's a commuter car, it's something you're going to be spending a significant portion of your life in, so it might as well be somewhat comfortable. And it's not like it would cost anything extra to toss in some softer springs and some softer seats without the stupid bolstering that I don't really need. And that honestly just makes it less comfortable for people who aren't the right size. 2001 Ford Focus, yet another mediocre car that doesn't know what it wants to be.